Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 4 is here with tons of lore. So in today's video, I'm going to go over all of the new lore. After the events of Unstable, we learned that Geno has hacked into the loop and that he is taking control over the 0 point. After the hacking, Geno meets up with Dr. Eggman from Sonic, and Geno believes the Chaos Emeralds can help restabilize the 0 point because there's 99.99% of it. Tails went into a rift which brought him to Chapter 7, and while he was there, he found androids of Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow. Tails then explains that when he came through the rift, he couldn't come back, meaning it was a one-way, but the androids could go back. So Tails modified them to help Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow to take down Dr. Eggman and Geno without even stepping foot onto the Shattered Coast. But before we continue, let's go back to Unstable for a second. When Geno was hacking into the loop, he attempted to send the 0 point to Reality Unknown, also known as OG mode. But why would Geno be doing this? Well, I have a theory for OG, and it's been bugging me for such a long time now. Like, first we thought OG had nothing to do with the story, then we thought it was its own reality, and we even thought it was set into the past. But what if none of it is even real? Hear me out, this may seem crazy, but I think OG is a simulated reality by Geno. I think Geno created OG so that he could run experiments with the 0 point and the loop without the risk of destroying all of reality. I believe Geno has always been in the background of the recent chapters, attempting to rebuild and restabilize the 0 point. Let's go back to the Big Bang event where the 0 point was split and put across all different realities. One of those realities was Chapter 5's, where Valeria became obsessed with the 0 point and Pandora's box. But the question is why? Well, I believe that this was Geno, and he wanted Pandora's box's energy to restabilize the 0 point after it would be reformed. Geno also wanted to get a 0 shard from each reality, and it becomes apparent when we realize that almost everywhere there's been a 0 shard, Geno was already there. In Chapter 5, Geno attempted to use Valeria and Doom to get the 0 shard, which both of them failed. In Chapter 6, we saw Geno use the Dark Presence and Midas, which I'll get into in a little bit. And finally, in Chapter 7, he used the Dark Voyager to get the rest of the shards. He even had an IO base protecting the shard on the Elite Stronghold map before the Elites took it over. Let's go back to Chapter 6 for a second though. In Chapter 6, Season 3, Midas built a gateway to the vault from Chapter 1. But I'm going to tell you this right now. This is not the actual vault. This is Geno's simulated reality. OG. But why would Midas work with Geno now when he was against him in Chapter 2? 2 words. Shapeless man. We've seen it before with Riftward and Stellar, and it's the same deal with Midas for Chapter 6. The gateway was described as a place where they could hide the 0 shard from the Dark Presence, but they were so wrong. Geno wanted them to put the 0 shard there, so he could have complete control over it in his simulated reality. I believe Geno has been pushing so hard to have the 0 point in the simulated reality, aka Reality Unknown, aka OG, so that he could use it to create his perfect world without any interference since he is in complete control over there. Now let's fast forward to one season in Chapter 6 Season 4 where the Dark Presence is taking over Onioshima and has the 0 shard. Hope and Jones are stuck in Springfield and have to go back to Chapter 6 to take on the Dark Presence. And when they're fighting, Jones spawns in the red cube. And in scrap dialogue, the Dark Presence says, "You do not belong here." This is because the red cube is part of Geno's simulated reality and should not be in Chapter 6. So then how is Jones able to spawn it? Well, I think when he used his Rift Portal device to spawn it, since the gateway was still on the island, it messed with Jones's device, causing the coordinates to change to Reality Unknowns. Now, if we go to Chapter 7, we see that the Dark Voyager is already there, and he has taken over Innerloop Labs. As we keep going through, we see that when Visitor Geno arrives to Chapter 7, he uses a red rift. Well, let's go to Reality Unknown real quick. In Reality Unknown, there's this type of energy called Havoc energy, which is extremely unstable. An energy Geno has clearly been harvesting for some time now. Havoc energy is responsible for the red cube and the red rifts. I believe Geno uses Havoc energy to get between a simulated reality and a real reality, since most likely normal rifts wouldn't work. So in Chapter 7, Geno uses a Havoc rift to get from Reality Unknown to Chapter 7, and he pretends to be the Visitor while the Dark Voyager rebuilds a 0 point for him. Now, let's go forward to Unstable, where Geno hacked into reality and put everything back into Imagined Order protocols. Also, in Unstable, Geno wanted to send the 0 point to Reality Unknown, so like how I mentioned earlier, he would have complete control over it in his simulated reality. Now, in the new season, Geno is working with Dr. Eggman and the deer from 99 Nights in the Forest. The fuck? So Geno finally got a skin after all this time, and he appears to be older than he was in Shattered. It also looks like he has mastered Havoc energy because now he has red glowing powers. Also in the new season, there's a device in the middle of Nap controlling the 0 point, which Geno appears to be working on with Havoc energy. And throughout the season, the clouds above it will become more like a portal with the last reality colors. Also, Hope has been getting visions of Jones and says that he is critical to all of this. But each time Amy runs the test of the fight between Geno and Jones, Geno always wins. Hope talks to Salone and she says that she would sacrifice herself if it was for the greater good of reality. But maybe, just maybe, if they gave Jones his own 7 suit and officially gave him the name The Legend, he could beat Geno. Just saying though. But a question that is probably still on a lot of your minds after seeing the trailer for this season is, why is Geno becoming older? Is it from the Havoc energy? Or is it from something way, way more darker? Here's what I believe. Geno's glider is named Steps of the Regent, which thanks to Retro pointed out that a regent is someone who's temporarily or a substitute ruler, while the sovereign or the emperor is absent and unable to rule for whatever reason. I know Retro believes that Geno is controlling a snapshot of himself, causing this rapid aging, but I think it's something else. I believe this is the real Geno we are seeing. But what if the Nothing has corrupted him? Listen, this may just sound a little crazy, but we have seen it before. Let's go back to Chapter 4, Season 2, where Triarch Nox was corrupted by the Nothing, and he was given this black and white look. Then let's go to Chapter 7, Season 4, where Geno has an unreleased edit style named Order Geno, where his poliosis has spread even more. Then, his final unreleased style is Void Master Geno, and I think this is what Geno will look like when the Nothing has completely taken him over. I think this entire time, the Nothing has been taking him over, and that's why he's slowly been acting more and more like a villain over time. This would also explain his old aging. I also believe that in the time that Geno has been gone, he has been controlling divisions of the Imagined Order across realities. And in the new season, both the Imagined Order and the Last Reality have combined forces, probably creating the faction named the Final Reality, since that was a teaser by Tofu Chris. The Final Reality can be a faction where, instead of trying to destroy everything like the Last Reality, they want to make one singular reality under Geno's perfect vision. But that'll be for today's video. Make sure to comment what you think about some of the theories in this video, which shout out to everyone who's in my stream who helped me come up with these theories. I did that during my downtime stream. Shout out to everyone who's there. And thank you all for watching. Goodbye.